Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today I have a really big box in my living room, and this has been quite a while on the ways. This is a electric bicycle and it's from the company ADO, and the ADO stands for a Dece Oasis. Yeah, it's a Chinese company, it's a rather new company, it's from May last year, and they have already done multiple of these electric bikes, and they were very kind and wanted me to review their electric bicycle. And as I really like my electric battery driven stuff, I had a really tough time turning them down. So yeah, we came to an agreement and they shipped me over this electric bike for review. So this video is sponsored by ADO, and they want you to see their bike, so do keep that in mind. I don't think I've ever received a box this big that I could keep. So yeah, it looks like this. It's the A20F, and they have different models, and this one is like a little bit of an off-terrain thing, I think. I have no idea what color it is, so let's get into the box. So when I say that this was a long time on the way, it was because this box was sent to me late November, and I received it just the other day, which was 11th of January. So the Danish post office managed to lose this for over a month. I don't know how that's possible. I think we could fit probably 3 kindergarten children in this box if we really wanted to, which just means that the post office are amateurs compared to kindergarten. Not many kindergarten kids gets lost. So not whining with me. Let's open this up. And I'm hoping to do a bit of assembling. So I hope there is something to assemble. I like assembling stuff. What is this? Let's leave that. So there is the bicycle tucked away inside this big box. Oh, that's some beefy tires. Foam insulation. The box has survived no problem whatsoever. It's a little bit dirty. Otherwise, it's all good. Do wonder how they plan that you get that out of there. It's heavy. I think it's 30 some kilos. Very curious to what this is. Ah, that is for protection. Okay, I get it. There is a thing here that needs protection. So there's a plate there. Okay, that makes sense. Brilliant. We'll have to do a bit of manhandling. Or we could turn it upside down. Yeah, it's a big box. I think this would be easier if you were 2 people. No surprise there. Start removing the foam. We will have a way better look at this. And we should probably turn it upside down. There is a box here. Maybe we are lucky that there are some instructions and stuff. Okay, there is 2 pedals with reflective stuff, and it even tells me that one of them is for the right and one of them is for the left. And that is important because the frets are different. So if you try to put them on the wrong side, it's not gonna go. That's so that you don't paddle along and that they untighten themselves. Then we have a mounting, it looks like a phone. Motorcycle phone support. I guess it is a motorcycle as it has a motor. Oops. Yeah, I think we can wait with this until the bicycle is upright. Oh, and we get some paperwork at the bottom here. ADO e-bike quick install guide, or quick installation guide. Yeah, this is just like an IKEA project. Very nice. I like stuff like this. This is Denmark. We have Lego. We get these with our Lego sets. do this, do that, and this and that. So this is cool. And there is a user manual, multiple languages. Thank you. And then there is a European charger cable. They know what they're doing. So I'm guessing that this is the power supply to charge the e-bike. So let's see that. This looks like more or less a regular power supply for a laptop, but it has different voltages. This supplies an output of 42 volts, 2 amps. So yeah, you put that in and you charge your e-bike. Then there's a little bit of tools. I am pretty much guessing that this is what we're gonna need to put this together. That would be smart. Oh, and I forgot to mention, of course this is a black bike. I had no idea what they were gonna send. If it's, they have a white one, and I wouldn't mind which one it was, but I did look at the black one and thought that was pretty sweet. So I'm very happy with the black color. I looked at the instructions here and it's not that sophisticated. Actually it says English here, and there's just this, and then we turn over to France and German, and on the other side we have Italian and Spanish, and then we have something that I am not sure what that is. If that could be Russian. It could also, it's probably Russian. I'm guessing Russian. So the first thing they want, well, they want me to make sure that it has the accessories. I haven't been able to find that one. And 5, air pump. I don't see that. It could still be on the bike somewhere. So we might just have a look and see if that is strapped to it somewhere. It could still be here. Oh, I think I see, yeah, I see some stuff there, but they want us to kind of unfold the bike. It's a foldable bike. You can kind of fold it like this even when it is in operation, and you have unwrapped it and unboxed it and all that stuff, and transport it, put it in the back of the car or something like that. Let's try that. Let's see. I'm guessing this one and the next one. And don't puncture the tires. That would be stupid. So that's the steering thing. Also comes off. That's normally not a good thing if you're driving and that comes off. That could end up being a really bad day. There is still something holding it together down there. Yeah, I think we're good to go now. There's some sounds here. There is some locking mechanism there. Oh, found the air pump. It's on the side over here. So there is the air pump. So I think I will continue removing some of the insulation here. Air pump and more zip ties. I believe the battery is in here, so the model number of the bike, and I believe this might be the locking mechanism to make sure that it doesn't fold, which we don't want while driving, even if it could do a really sharp corner, but only to one side. So that's how you fold it. Release that. So they suggest to use it has the thingy that you can lean it up against, and I think that's on the other side. So we'll turn it around again. And it's down there, so we didn't have to look far for it, and it's easy to unwrap. So it's under its own power. So the battery is in here, the motor is down here, zip ties are everywhere, and it has disc brakes, and it has gears, and it has a seat that seems to be pointing in the wrong direction. It's actually a rather heavy bike. I don't think I've ever... Yeah, okay, it might not be that bad. It looks very heavy when you look at it. What is that? Oh, that's the keys. So we managed the folding out part, we managed the locking part, those two are the locking parts. Then we managed the foot brace, and then we need to tighten the foot brace. I just tightened that. I checked if it was tight, and it's tight. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Now they want us to put on the steering mechanism, and there should be some locking mechanism for that as well. That's there. We should get rid of some of the foam here. I do wonder how that works. Okay, so we need to release this and release that, and that comes off. Okay, and then there's a thing that we can tighten down there. Now we can tighten that, and it will do something with this thing. Make sure that that doesn't come up. It's gonna go and do something like that, and when you tighten that, it's not gonna be able to come up again. We do though need the steering mechanism to kind of go straight, so we will tighten that. Kind of want it to be straight-ish. You really don't want this to come undone. Okay, I'm almost bending the wrench. So then you put that down there, and you lock that there, and that doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. I can see in this manual that the locking mechanism should be out here, so I'm gonna fix that. And that makes the steering mechanism fold down that way, which is probably better. And when you push it up, there. Oh, there's a little bit more foam here, hiding the display away. There's actually a couple of stickers here that tells us to align these two. I got it close enough now. It will go straight. So now it suggests that we turn the seat around. I do not disagree. It's not in a very good seating position. Yeah, it has a... okay. And it has a backlight. That should point back. But I would have to figure out how high I want this. Oh, it goes really high. That's really high. That's way too high for me. I think that is about it. You should be able to touch the ground. I think I forgot to show that I turned the handle around. It was in a weird angle, but it's also kind of not in the middle. There. It has become time to mount the pedals. Yeah. I do not expect this to be very magical. I expect that only one of them will go in. So let's just try a random one, not even look at it. See, this one needs to go in that way. Will it do that? It goes in. Just for fun and giggles, let's try the other one and make sure that that does not go in. Yeah, frets are the other way. Nah, that does not go in. So this one is for this one. Have to be careful not to ruin the frets if you test that, because that wouldn't be cool. And we have this key for tightening that. one down. And if we have goofed up big time, this is not gonna work. Amazed the amount of foam that they have found room for on this bike. Yeah, this is great. This goes right in. So the bike is meant for playing around in some rough terrain here, so it has shock absorbers. I think this can do with a little bit more air, so let's see if this supply pump will help us there. It's a tiny pump. Actually, I need that one. We are getting some in there. The tires are 20 inches, I guess they... Yeah, that's better. And I think these are car size valves. So if you want to drive this bike, it has a key, and the key is located down here, and you can take it out. I don't think it's a very good place to have that located. It's not gonna fall out, but it doesn't. It feels unsafe to have that sitting down there, and your feet is gonna be right down there. These pedals are special. You can push them in, and then you can lower them. They take up a little bit less space when you have the bike folded together, and then you can just unwrap them, and they're good to go. Nicely made. So as said, the battery is in here, and you can actually take that out. So if you release this and see this metal thing, if we turn the key, okay, if we lock this and then we unlock that and unlock that. We bent the bike. Battery should come out. There's a handle, okay. Oh, and take out the key. Then the battery comes out. That was a job. And we can see the battery here. It's a big battery. Look at that. Lithium ion battery, 18650s, and each of them are 2600 milliamp hours, 36 volts, 10.4 amp hours. That brings us a total of 374 watt hours. Samsung, Panasonic, LG, but they are Chinese brand. It has a charging port here on the side, which is also available on the other side of the bicycle when the battery is in here, so you can have the battery in the bicycle and charge it up. Here is the lock at the bottom, and there is the locking pin that locks it into the bike. And when the bike is folded up, all the connections pins here are disconnected from the bicycle. But I think we want to try and put it back in. See if I can manage that. So the lock has to go into the bottom. And here is the thing that you can take. There's like a lever, and you can get your fingers there. Like that. There. There. And now the bicycle is active. So with the bicycle active, we can turn it on. There, display comes on. It says that I'm not going anywhere. 0 kilometers per hour. Haven't gone anywhere. 0, 0, 0. Battery is fully charged. There is you can turn on the lights of the bicycle here. It has a light down there. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. And it has a horn. Get out of my way! So yeah, assist 2, assist 3, assist 2, assist 1, none. Oh, and it has a USB charging port right there, so you can charge your phone while driving. We can kind of see it working if we pedal a little bit here. Okay, I mounted the phone holder here. It's kind of, it might be a bit too flimsy for doing any mountain bike stuff like this. It feels the phone, and it does that, so it holds the phone together. And when you, well, it has these clamps that goes in, so now the phone will just drop down. That's a bad idea. But these feet comes out like that, and then you press these, and then it's ready for you to put your phone in there, and it will hold the phone. And yeah, it has another feature. It has some rubbery thing here, and that can go over the phone, so it can kind of hold on a little bit extra on the phone. I am expecting that is what it's for. I'm not entirely sure, but this is an iPhone 10, and it the rubbery thing is being stretched ever so slightly. I would be afraid that the plastic behind here would give up. You can kind of see it. It's sitting with this plastic, and I don't know. I would have to use it a little bit before I trust it. So the wire for the power supply is I believe 1.5 meter, and then there's the wire that goes up to the bicycle. Good meter. The power supply has a green LED lighting up when there is power on it. Put it right there. And then the charging port is right over here, so we can charge it up. And while charging, the power supply is red. I can't see anything else on the bike as of right now that indicates that it's charging or what state of charge it's at. I did try to turn on the display up here, and that is not possible. So if we unplug it, I believe then we might be able to, yeah. Then we are able to turn on the display. And as soon as we plug it in, I think the display will turn itself off. Yep, turned off. Okay, that was a lot of exercise. I am really out of shape. So is my hair. You saw how wild it was. I had to go and comb it down. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. It was a little bit hard to film that, and it was blistering cold out there. There was frost on the grass and stuff, and there were several people at the beach that I tried to avoid. But I had a lot of fun riding this A20F, and I will of course leave some links in the description, so at least you can go check it out. It's a rather cheap e-bike. It's quite affordable. Prices goes up and down. Then they have a campaign or something, so I'm not gonna say what it costs because it changes all the time, but if you are interested, the link is in the description. You can get the daily price, and maybe you can surf around and see if there's any good offers here and there and anywhere. An issue that I have with this bike is that I like to be able to touch the ground, but also when I'm paddling, I like to almost stretch my leg all the way. And these paddles, they seem to be pretty far up. There's a lot of clearings there, and that's probably good for when you're riding in rough terrain, that you don't have the paddles hitting stuff. But that means to stretch your legs the full way, you are very, very high up. So when you want to get off the bike, you can't touch the ground. So yeah, I guess it's a compromise there. It's a heavy bike. This bike is 29 kilograms. You feel that when you have to pull it in and out, especially now that I've put it in the living room. It's not gonna stay in the living room. This is probably the last time this bike gets to set rubber on the living room, because and now I made it dirty. It's dripping sand over here. Other than that, it's really solid and really well built. There's a little bit of rattling. I think the battery inside the compartment here are rattling if you're on really tough terrain. But other than that, there is no rattling. The display up there is 3 levels of assist. Level 1 doesn't give you much assist, but it's an automatic assist. If you set it to level 1 and you start paddling, it will assist you. Then there's level 2. At the level 2 there's this gas pedal thing up here, and when you use that at level 2 you get more assist. And then there's level 3, and that's the most assist. And there's some percentage. I don't think it really matters much, because just be honest, all of us will just put it on level 3 assist and full throttle. Right. Apparently there's some law in the EU that says that you can't drive more than 25 kilometers per hour on an e-bike, or it's not able to help you further than that. So it's limited to 25 kilometers per hour. There's a menu point where you can put that up to 35 kilometers per hour. You would probably also want to do that. I haven't done it yet. I haven't tried that yet. I thought, let's try with the legal stuff first. But of course I'm gonna try that. I would like to thank ADO for sponsoring this video and sending this awesome e-bike for me to review, that I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of fun with in the future. And yeah, I hope that something else comes up where we can use this. It has a very nice 36 volt lithium ion battery inside here, which has 10.4 amp hours of power. I've only been driving this bike for like 9 kilometers. I went out on a 5-ish kilometer long bike ride yesterday to figure out everything. And then today filming it wasn't actually that long, 4 kilometers. But I'm very near to the beach, as you can see. It's like 1.5 kilometers, and at that point I'll have wet feet. Thank you very much for sponsoring this bike, and thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.